Hello, what's up everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Pliyo and today we're going to be chatting and discussing the latest Dungeon Ranking Event Da-Chao statue. And we're going to go through the different stages to chat about my feedback as a competitive player, as in like we are all competitive players because we play this PvP. We don't get paid. We are not professionals, right? But we have fun. So without further ado, let's jump into my rank. Let's see what was my final rank. Drum roll, please. Oi! 14th. Very nice. 14th. 5,974,000. So according to the leaderboard, there is a leaderboard. So the community puts this together, which I have to say, so basically they focus on the top 10 in every group, right? So 970 will be somewhere... no, 174 will be somewhere here between the 107 and the 106. So maybe we are the 106.5. So all I'm trying to say is like this is a really good effort from the community, but unfortunately they only take the top 10 of every group, and some groups are a bit more sweatier than others, meaning that you could be position number 14 in your group and actually be higher than any of these. But that's fine. It's a good effort, and it's funny that they decided to add the meme. There was a Japanese player in Group 7, playing in Japan. No, this is like global ranking, but there was one Japanese player cheating with the... trying to fake that he had or she had more items. Probably it's a he. We don't know. They. And it was interesting to see that. By the way, kudos to Shira, saying Monarchs. He did a fantastic job. I was constantly seeing his progress, and also like, the classic Chaos, David C. I'm cheering for my guildies, Jabronimus, etc. Also, Gyumo. He was in my group, and he managed to squeeze the first position by a hair versus Clarith. That was really interesting to see. Anyhow, plenty of healthy competition, I think, overall. More or less healthy, I guess. Kudos to Penance. You have seen him in our podcast. Look at this, 103. Without even the latest OB10 weapons, so he's a fantastic player. So kudos to everyone that played the ranking event. Now, what do I think about... what do I think about this? Well, I have a few... so I was doing a live practicing, basically, where you can see how slow I am. So we're going to be reacting to Pliyo kind of thing. We're going to be reacting to myself. So I'm going to remove my own face, right? Because it's a bit weird to see myself twice. So all I'm trying to say is like, there was this fight, right? I was using this as the first fight, the Shadow Clones, right? Because thanks to this, you could get -2 ATBs. And I think this was like a really good example of a really interesting fight where you need to sweat in so many levels. So not only you need to sweat on your items and your materia, but more importantly, you need to be able to synchronize your movements inside the game to the point that it's really optimized, because quite likely, if you have a decently powerful account, you can kill both of them before Angeal applies the shield and before Sephiroth casts his ultimate. But to achieve that, you need to really master your control. So it's a skill base. It's also item base. I mean, you need the very basic items to compete. But also, I think way less powerful accounts were able to clear this, where I wasn't, for example. And I think with my account, I would have been able to, if I had more skill, which I didn't have, right? So this is like a bit of like being transparent about. There is a point in this game where it gets too mechanical. And you need to master not only your own mechanical skills, so your ability as a person, but also how the UI interacts. So there is a gap there where you need to push yourself to be faster, but maybe not too fast. And I think this is my only complaint with the game. So for example, I play with mouse, and I use the keyboard. And so sometimes I switch units with the mouse, and sometimes you need to double click. That's very, very annoying. To me personally, because I know I need to get better. By the way, I'm trying to be transparent. I know I'm slower than most, but sometimes I click and it doesn't change, which doesn't help. Like for example, there I was not there, but like in other examples, I was clicking on Tifa and she was not changing, so that was like frustrating. Also, there was like some weird things happening with animation from Vincent. For example, here, let's look at this, right? So so there was this situation happening where he dies. So Angel dies, right? So as you can see, the target is on Sephiroth. Well, let me see myself. Can you see Sephiroth? Yeah, it's there, right? Sephiroth, the target is there. And it's casting Chaos Claw so that it will do magic defense down plus enfeeble. And it doesn't apply. Look at this. The animation is gone. It's finished. The animation is finished. Like he's already about to be back, right, to his place. But nothing has happened. The debuff was not happening. So I don't know why exactly that was happening, but that was very annoying. So this is something that I wanted to reflect on as well. I think that's something to improve. Another thing that I will say is, well, that was one fight that was annoying, but interesting to see the level of like dedication that we need to have. Another thing is the Ifrit fight that was pretty straightforward. And then also Rufus. Rufus was a better fight, in my opinion. Genova was annoying, but Rufus was a better fight where Rufus could actually... I think Rufus was the perfect timing where it was easier to kill him versus his ultimate. So it was easier to kill before he pops and easier to do... while still being challenging, it was a bit easier. So I think the timing was better on Rufus as making it a bit more accessible for people while still being a bit of a challenge. Overall, my strategy was Shadow Clones, then Ifrit. Ifrit was pretty straightforward. But all at the same time, even though being straightforward, you needed to sweat to squeeze 100 more points. Then after that was Genova, so Ifrit here, then Genova, and then Rufus, and then the final boss. What I'm trying to say is like, it's crystal clear to me that the game is getting better and better, but we still have to improve the basics where the UI UX needs to be improved so that we can actually sweat even more, because it's getting to a point where we not only is like sweating on the materials that you need to get good rolls, and sometimes it's a bit unfortunate that you cannot get good rolls. Not only is the amount of money that you need to pay, even if you're a low spender, you need to put like, let's say 70 or 90 USD per month. Not only is the time that you need to repeat the things, is that also the UI is not really working. And this is the thing I wanted to, if the devs are listening, we really need to like a bit more effort on the UI UX so that it's a bit more responsive. And also sometimes it was really annoying to lose the game. So like sometimes the game will freeze, so you will need to restart the game. And then of course when you come back, that's it, your game is lost. And it's like, fuck man, I did a really good run and now I need to restart my run. So that was unfortunate. And overall, even though things were unfortunate, I really enjoy this dungeon ranking. Well, first of all, I prefer dungeon ranking because I get to see the chibis. That's like quite more, like, way more, it's way better. But at the same time, even though I enjoy more dungeon ranking, I think there are things that could be improved. And the thing I'm really liking is that we have more and more options. So this time around, even though I was using Tifa, Vincent, and Aerith, I saw other people using Yuffie and being really successful. People using Cloud, of course, that was the MVP. But like what I'm trying to say is like the game is finally becoming way more accessible to multiple strategies and players. And that's something that I'm really excited about. And because of that, more and more I'm thinking the game is getting into a better and better state so that more players could come into the game and stay in the game for longer. So overall, feeling pretty positive and can't wait for the next Dungeon Ranking event. The normal stage type of ranking event, it doesn't really appeal to me because of the bonuses becomes like a mess to my personal brain. And I prefer to see the chibis walking. I don't know, I feel a bit more connected to the game and I feel way more excited to try because you have also different bosses and stuff. It's quite fun for me personally. So I wanted to get your thoughts. What do you think about the latest ranking event? How did you find it? Yeah, so eager to get your thoughts. And that's it. Until the next time, thank you for watching. Cheerios. Bye-bye.